Can criticism of a government agency be blocked by claiming copyright infringement? It sounds a little bit ridiculous, but it's happening. The NSA is effectively stopping one small business owner claiming that his criticism in using their name has infringed on their copyright. Can they do that? This is a reality check you're not going to see anywhere else. Well, this is a story I had a hard time believing until I looked into it for myself. Here's the backstory. Dan McCall is the owner of a company that makes snarky t-shirts. The company is called Liberty Maniacs, and they carry a number of t-shirts dealing with lack of privacy and the growing police state. They sell on a site called Zazzle.com. None of it's been a problem until Liberty Maniacs released this shirt called the NSA. The image looks like the NSA logo, but has a motto that is clearly a pun: peeping while you're sleeping, followed by the phrase, the NSA, the only part of the government that actually listens. Shortly after going online, Zazzle pulled the shirt from its website, sending this message: "Thank you for publishing products on Zazzle. Unfortunately, it appears that your product, the NSA, contains content that is in conflict with one or more of our acceptable content guidelines. We will be removing this product from the Zazzle marketplace shortly. Policy notes: design contains an image or text that may infringe on intellectual property rights. We have been contacted by the intellectual property right holder, and we will be removing your product from Zazzle's marketplace due to infringement claims." Dan McCall, the owner of Liberty Maniacs, spoke with me via Skype and says there were multiple items dealing with the NSA that were pulled down from Zazzle.
These two, and then a number, probably 4 or 5 bumper stickers and things like that. Anything basically remotely relating to the NSA was taken down. And I'm not sure if that was, subsequently a blanket policy that Zazzle themselves had put up just because they didn't want to deal with the hassle and they didn't want to spend their time interpreting each thing, knowing that they would run into problems, or it was something that they actually, they were plugged into NSA legal, and they were kind of watching things as they go.
So to be clear, McCall was using the NSA logo. The NSA claimed copyright infringement, and Zazzle.com pulled the content down. Now, in fairness, what McCall was doing does use an official logo of a government agency. So can anyone just use that logo? Well, actually, yes. According to both the Electronic Freedom Foundation and the American Bar Association, parody is recognized as a type of fair use. Quote, "Like other commentary and criticism, courts recognize that a parody must often take recognizable elements from the work it comments upon. Courts do distinguish parody from satire. Parody copies from the object it mocks." So you can't claim copyright infringement if your logo or image is used as part of a parody. So the next question, is this logo a parody? According to the U.S. Supreme Court, a parody is the use of some elements of a prior author's composition to create a new one that, at least in part, comments on that author's works. Like other forms of comment or criticism, parody can provide social benefit by shedding light on an earlier work, and in the process, creating a new one.
I tried to visually take the most obvious, direction towards poking at them as I could, and that was their logo, right? I just said, I'm going to take it, adulterate it a little bit, and put in a few jabs in there, and that'll be it. It wasn't a huge design coup, but it did the job.
Now, what might be the most interesting twist in this entire story is that while the NSA is claiming copyright infringement against McCall for his parody, the NSA itself is facing accusations of true copyright infringement. Take a look at this image. This is the official NSA logo for the PRISM program. PRISM is, of course, the program that deals with NSA spying via email and phone records. Well, according to reports from England, the PRISM image used here is being used without permission. Adam Hart Davis is a well-known BBC presenter, and the image belongs to him. Here is the Davis pic. As you can see, the NSA image is just an upside-down version. Adam's son, Damon, who wrote about this in the Register newspaper, claims that the image is free for use, but a donation is requested. And at minimum, use of this image requires a link to his photo gallery and acknowledgement, none of which he has received from the NSA. So what you need to know is that because the work put out by Liberty Maniacs is clearly a parody, it is not copyright infringement. That's the easiest part of the story. But the bigger issue here is the issue of free speech. It is a First Amendment issue. McCall sees it that way as well.
It's a First Amendment issue, and First Amendment issues affect everybody. And it specifically affects anyone that's expressing themselves, any artist, no matter whether you're on the right side, the middle side, or the left side, or whatever side. If you're not allowed to express yourself and artistically or in many other ways, then we've taken a turn for the worse.
Bottom line, there is no gray area here. But the NSA is a very powerful government agency. They don't need gray area or even to be right to get companies like Zazzle to cooperate. This is why internet piracy bills like SOPA and PIPA and CISPA are so dangerous. If those bills become law, all the feds have to do is claim copyright infringement to shut down an entire website. They don't have to be right. Dan McCall's story is just a taste of what happens when government agencies decide they will enforce laws but not be subject to them. And that is Reality Check. Well, now that you've been informed, it's time to get engaged. Go right now to benswann.com. There you can see this story again, as well as view the text of this story and links that give you additional information and how you can get involved. Plus, if you would like to see more episodes just like this, you can help make them happen. Find out how right now at benswann.com.